Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to another live stream slash recording of Hearthstone. So today, coming out just straight up, it's Saturday, April the 29th, and I am sick. So, in an effort to learn what I should try to ambitiously plot for, ooh, that's kind of a nefarious way to phrase it, but I haven't bothered to look at it. I've looked at the news, but I haven't bothered to write any of it down on my whiteboard and talk about it. I want to just put all of that to the side. And we're going to try something here. I'm mostly out of my sickness, but I am energetically depleted, I guess. So tired. So trying to talk about things and trying to be as clear-headed about things as I possibly can be doesn't make any sense. I need to get 5 tavern brawls here, so let's hop into this, and this is gonna suck, but whatever. On the tavern brawls, we needed to get rogue cards and rogue victories, so I might be able just to overlap all of this. I would not be upset one bit if this stream just went for 30 minutes and my Hearthstone deck tracker program has crashed. So let's see if we can bring it back up and get it to work. Hopefully. There we go. That's working for me. Last recording I showed yet another mental lapse and mistake in leaving the "we'll be right back" text at the top for the last 30 minutes of an hour and 30 minute stream because I was just not paying attention, and also that doesn't show up on my screen, so it's easier to miss that than you would imagine. I'm gonna keep this since it's a rogue card. So yeah, I'm gonna have to be really careful. Ideally, maybe that should not be something I change or toggle on at all. That's kind of not been my system as far as recording is my recording system is more set and forget it, and it's to ensure consistency and also succeed. Speaking of succeeding, I'm a little worried about actually winning this tavern brawl as a rogue.
Let's make magic.
So I'll probably want to switch after 3 victories. Alright. That one gives me 5. Well, interesting. We may just win by virtue of crazy spells getting cast. Actually, I might win here.
Job's done.
Let's see. Before I do anything else, let's attack here. And then do this.
Job's done.
And can't do anything else. Okay. We may win here. My last 2 streams haven't been the greatest as far as people coming on either, and I don't know what's there. I don't know if I've just gotten some bad times or if YouTube is just I know one of the cases is most definitely because let's go ahead and attack before we do anything else.
Hey pal, Trade Prince Galloway's here.
This is actually the perfect card to use, isn't it? One of the times was because YouTube specifically didn't announce the stream, but I know that YouTube announced the stream, at least to me, this time and the last time. And the last time just nobody was online, I guess. And this is inherently my fault too, is that I can't guarantee a time, therefore, because I can't guarantee a time or schedule it, because here it's nearly 7 o'clock and I was planning on doing it closer to 4, but also I'm sick, so I'm going to use that as an excuse for a lot of the reasons why I didn't make any progress. Speaking of not making progress, one, I finished BioShock Infinite, and boy, at that end did I realize I disliked it more than I even thought. Like, I really don't like BioShock Infinite's story. Oh, my Hearthstone deck tracker crashed again, so I'm gonna just forget it. That seems to imply that there's been a recent update in Hearthstone and the deck tracker hasn't upgraded yet. This is an issue that happens every now and then with the Hearthstone deck tracker app. I was also thinking about doing on-screen comments. Again, this is an example of what you shouldn't do as a streamer, is promise something that may never happen or talk about something that may never happen. But I was gonna look and see if maybe there's a way to take the comments from a live stream on YouTube, which there's a low chance that there actually is, and put it directly on screen. And then, of course, when you start something like that going on, that helps me see the stream a little bit better while my audience is relatively small, and then stops being useful at all once my audience becomes very big. Wow. I think I'm getting really lucky here. That's fine. Like I said, if this is just 30 minutes, this is just 30 minutes. In general, covering the news, like, I'm not really going to cover it, but Nintendo came out and said sometimes we get our supplies and our estimates like that wrong. Which, no duh, since the NES Classic was very short and all of that. A long-time Nintendo developer is retiring, and there's a bunch of sales or things where everybody's kind of doing better. At least it is under the general accounting shenanigans that they allow people to do these days, where you don't have to really claim half your debt or something like that. Ooh, interesting. Living Mana. That's an interesting spell to cast at random. So yeah, as the stock market looks at it, everybody's doing better. A lot of games got announced. There's some weirdness still there as I'm looking at all these game announcements. Sometimes I look at game announcements and I just put them on my watch list on Steam. Sometimes I look at game announcements and I put them down as this game has an announced date, so let's talk about it. I suppose in the long run I should probably just announce everything that's been announced and kind of get away from the not news idea. But there's also some weirdness there. This, and this. Do I want to play it too? Or just do this?
I'll show them all.
Enter the Coliseum. What does that card do? It just killed everybody, I guess. Well, whatever. Next turn, if I can attack the face, I win. Otherwise, I probably still can win. Let's remember I'm trying to play rogue cards here. Since I'm sick, I'll just go ahead and say it. There's probably not going to be a example of me streaming and playing with people today. Sorry. It's just not going to work. After I finished BioShock, continuing on and not making progress, I literally made one episode to start Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. And I started it in a strange way because I accidentally went into the multiplayer and I said, hey, let's just look at the multiplayer at the beginning. Turns out the multiplayer servers are down. Surprise, surprise. In the sense that I'm not surprised at all. And so because of
justice is mine.
Because of the servers being down, I spent about 10 minutes through the tutorial showing off everything you can't play in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which really sucks because of all the games that have ever had multiplayer, I think Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is the one multiplayer I've liked the most. It's a slow-paced, different style of gameplay other than instead of running and gunning on Halo, Call of Duty style game. Even like board games and other things, they're usually not popular enough to have a multiplayer that works that well. Maybe Uno Rush that's very possibly the one game that might be better. 1 versus 100 had a pretty good multiplayer. There was a poker game on Xbox 360 that wasn't terrible on multiplayer, but it really wasn't that great either, and I think I probably would have preferred to still just play against the computer. But the one I really enjoyed was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It's in my top 5 at the very least. Alright. Let's play this. What happened there? Spend all my mana and deal damage to something, but it didn't deal damage to it. Whatever. Take the victory. And then, so after 10 minutes I start Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and you're going through the tutorial section and everything is going fine. The game with multi-sampling turned up to 8 times didn't run perfectly smoothly, so I decided to turn it off. I think I'll probably, in the next recording, try and move it back to maybe 4 times sampling or 2 times sampling. See if we can find something in the middle. The graphics look pretty good, but not as good as I would like in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Now, there was that remastered Ezio collection that came to consoles and never really came to PC. So if that looks better, that's kind of unfair, but not unheard of that PC versions would get gypped. But the graphics aren't terrible by far. I've seen a lot worse. And then I get to this section where you're supposed to man the cannons, and in Assassin's Creed, manning cannons is not a major gameplay element. Not even in Brotherhood, not that I recall at least. And you're supposed to protect your village that's being attacked. So this is spoilers for less than an hour into the game. And I swear I could not get it done. I tried it 3 different times in this tutorial section where obviously you're supposed to succeed, and I could not for the life of me get it done. And then I said, fine, I'll just do this off screen and then pause it. And as soon as I do it off screen, it works the first try, as it often happens. As soon as the pressure's off, as soon as people aren't looking, first try works. But I can pretty much guarantee that it wouldn't have worked if I had tried one more time on the recording. And at that point I became sick, and I've been sick for
Do you hear
for
its call?
2.5 days now, and so there's been no other progress there. On BioShock Infinite, theoretically, if I can get through with Brotherhood, I can go back to Borderlands 1 and do the DLC. And then I want to do BioShock Infinite's Burial at Sea. I'll probably look at the Clash and Clouds DLC for a little bit, see if that multiplayer server is still on. And
Justice is mine.
and then go to Burial at Sea. I've never played Burial at Sea in BioShock Infinite, so that might turn me around and make me like the DLC a little bit better. Kind of like how the DLC in BioShock 2 I hadn't played, and maybe that would be more interesting. That seems to be kind of a consistent issue with me, and it's a problem with DLC in general, is that you just never really can schedule the time in as much as you can playing a new game, in my mind. So I haven't done any of the DLC for Witcher 3. I haven't done the DLC for the Talos Principle, even though I own that. There's probably lots of other DLC elements that I haven't done. I think there's maybe a little bit of Lego Batman 3 DLC that I haven't done. But
Justice is mine.
But yeah, that is definitely a problem with DLC. See, and you can. This is a good example how I just stalled there and my mind just went blank. It's like when you're sick, it's just hard to keep things straight in my head. When I'm sick, at least. And so I'm just kind of glad I'm not coughing all over people. So yeah, then I would. Wait, what's that? I'll try to do the Borderlands DLC. I'll almost certainly do that. And then I'll try and do the BioShock DLC, which kind of also means that there's going to be like 4 months. Not 4 months, but 2 months between 4 games of content that are just video game stuff.
Justice is mine.
Should have probably attacked this guy. So yeah, there's probably going to be 2 months of just shooters. I've officially, I think, dropped the ball as far as trying to get Bayonetta out and replacing the Honey Pop time slot, because Honey Pop, if there's one more episode of Honey Pop, maybe 2, it's probably almost certainly not going to go another week. I hope people enjoyed it. It seems like people wanted to see it and enjoyed it more than a lot of my other series, so I can't really complain too much about it. In fact, it's been one of my most popular series, but replacing it was going to be hard until Bayonetta came out for PC. In that time slot, it's gonna go away, but it may come back. I've also had the thought that I'm gonna try and think about doing a second Halloween themed month, just to finish up some horror games outside of the month of October, which I think is a smart move on my part, because there's a lot of horror games out there, and Outlast 2, for example, just came out, even though I hear Outlast 2 is awful. So people release horror games, at least we know, outside of October also. I think I already talked about Night Trap, so I'd like to get that. May the 4th is quickly approaching, and I'll probably buy a bunch of Star Wars games for preparation of next year. I've already done my recording of 2 Star Wars this year, which is fine by me, I guess. That's an interesting trade I just made.
Well played.
I don't know why people are well playing me in this tavern brawl. This tavern brawl is insanely random. The Twitch affiliate program, I don't know if I talked about it, but it got announced, came out, and one of the things that's... I shouldn't have done this. Ooh, actually that worked. One of the Twitch affiliate things is they want you, like, 3 consecutive viewers on average, or 50 consecutive viewers. Some number that kind of feels high. And
this is our town, scrub.
Interesting.
Yeah, beat it.
Nice.
Justice is mine.
Yeah, I've totally forgotten about what I was talking about. I'm so glad I made this right decision. I kind of consistently make over-ambitious plans and decisions on my stream and my channel in general. Just too many videos getting recorded, too much work that I schedule for myself. It's not realistic to the amount of work I can actually turn out. And the level of quality I'm doing isn't the greatest anyways, which is to go to say that I really understand why a lot of other YouTubers only put out a video like once a week or once a month even. It kind of makes sense. I guess I can go ahead and do this. There's no reason not to. That being said, I still want to do the amount I've already done. I don't want to really reduce the number of videos I cover just because of the number of games I cover. The real reduction would happen if I started getting to the point where I've played every single video game. Interesting. Let's see.
Go ahead.
Give a beast +2/+2. Interesting.
Is mine.
You know what's funny is this is a beast. And this is a beast. That's actually gonna work. Dinomancy. Darn it. Do you have another beast to play? No. Destroy minion at its attack and health to
Nothing
Cthulhu.
scares me, except the mice.
Hey, if my deck has no duplicates, fully heal my hero. Apparently it has no duplicates. Interesting. So as much damage as I take here, I can win.
You are not prepared.
I don't know if I'm particularly gonna have theme months in the months. Like January, February, March, April. Like April is, and then May the 4th be with you is the month we're pretending at for Star Wars. It's just a good excuse to play Star Wars. And then in February, there's potentially a small chance of
done.
of doing some other things. Yeah, I can't even think
Back to
straight.
your homes.
Oh, this is a mistake. This is such a mistake. I knew this was going to be an experiment too. Just trying to barely talk or not really talk about anything. I probably should have just not streamed at all today. I probably should have just played the games, done the quest, and made an apology video. What can I do? And see, we've got about 5 more minutes, and let's see, I'll die if I don't do anything else, so I've got to do this.
Gonna be rich. Well done. Well played.
Don't forget to tip your Tauren.
So, what I think we're gonna do is I'm just gonna end the recording in about 5 minutes, which is probably the end of this game. And this is just an example. This is probably the best example, the better part of what this stream is going to be. I think for the rest of it, I'm just going to stream and not record at all. This doesn't really hurt me because I have plenty of extra videos. I'm way further ahead on Hearthstone than anything else. So I think I'll just play, and I'm not even going to attempt to really communicate unless somebody says something. Because we are, as far as the quest and everything, we're pretty close to being done. Anyways, we're probably about halfway through, I would guess. And we got really lucky. Usually when you get the Win 5 Tavern Brawls quest, it's not a good idea to keep it, even though it's worth 60. But
Reporting for duty.
But this is what I feared. And I suppose it's better to find out in this case that it's better to find out in this case that I really can't think straight instead of trying to record like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which is what I was thinking about doing today, and no. Maybe I'll do some paperwork, but even doing like scheduling, which I need to do, is a bad mistake because I'll just get things wrong and mess them up. It'd be nice if there was some kind of temp agency where you could hire some other YouTube streamer to do your streaming for you, but I mean, nobody wants to see that. Nobody cares about seeing people that aren't you on your channel, really. Unless you've got a channel that involves multiple people and you're able to pay all those people, which I'm certainly not. So that's going to be it for this recording, and I'm just going to kind of in almost total silence play the rest of the stream. And 3 more Tavern Brawls we need to get lucky for, 1 more rogue thing, and 21 more rogue cards, and you kind of see what I'm going to do it. So that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.